The United States military is decisively shifting its hypersonic weapon strategy, moving to integrate these ultra-fast missiles with mobile, ground-based launchers. This strategic pivot signals a clear intent to make hypersonic capabilities not just powerful, flexible, survivable, rapidly deployable across diverse operational theaters. The recent award of contracts to defense startup Castellion to adapt its Blackbeard hypersonic weapon for use on existing Army platforms marks a tangible and accelerated step in this direction. This development is not merely a technical upgrade. It represents a fundamental change in how the Pentagon envisions deployment and use of its next-generation high-speed strike assets, potentially altering the strategic balance China-Russia. The fact burst is stark and points to a rapidly evolving program. Castellion, a relatively new player in the defense sector, has secured agreements with the Army Navy. The primary focus is on fitting the Blackbeard hypersonic missile onto the M142 high-mobility artillery rocket system, a launcher that has already proven its immense value and mobility in recent conflicts. The timeline is aggressive, underscoring the urgency of the initiative. A proof-of-concept prototype is slated for demonstration in Q1 2026, to be followed by delivery of 10 flight test prototypes before the end of that fiscal year. This rapid schedule highlights a departure from traditional, slower-paced defense acquisition cycles. At the heart of this initiative is the Blackbeard weapon system, designed from the ground up for speed maneuverability mass production. By definition, hypersonic weapons travel at speeds exceeding Mach 5, more than 5 times the speed of sound. They fly within the upper atmosphere, combining the speed of a ballistic missile with the maneuverability of a cruise missile. This unique flight profile allows them to change direction unpredictably, while en route to a target, making them exceptionally difficult for traditional air and missile defense systems to intercept. The Pentagon's push for mobile hypersonic weapons is not occurring in a vacuum. It is a direct response to a fiercely competitive international security environment, particularly the rapid advancements made by China and Russia in the field of high-speed weaponry. Both nations have invested heavily in developing and fielding their own competitive hypersonic programs, creating what many analysts describe as a new arms race. This geopolitical race is centered on developing and deploying missiles that can travel at incredible speeds, while maneuvering to evade even the most sophisticated modern defenses. The United States now finds itself in a position where it must accelerate its own programs to avoid falling behind. China, in particular, has made alarming progress, reportedly testing a hypersonic glide vehicle that circled the globe before striking a target. This demonstrated a level of technological maturity that surprised many Western observers. Russia has also claimed to have used hypersonic missiles in combat situations, further emphasizing the real-world application of these advanced systems. The development of such weapons by strategic competitors presents a profound challenge to U.S. military dominance and the security of its allies. These missiles threaten to hold high-value assets, like aircraft carriers and forward-deployed bases, at risk from long distances with very little warning time. Castellion contract, a new and agile approach, but it's part of a much larger U.S. effort to build a suite of hypersonic weapons. For several years, the Pentagon has managed multiple high-profile hypersonic programs. The Army's long-range hypersonic weapon, the Dark Eagle, one of the most prominent programs in the portfolio. LRHW is a large ground-to-ground system designed for strategic, long-range strikes. Expected range? In excess of 2,775 kilometers. Expected speed? At least Mach 5. That combination lets it threaten distant, high-value targets from a mobile ground launcher. LRHW reached a critical milestone in late 2024. On December 12, 2024, Army RCTO, working with the U.S. Navy, conducted the first successful end-to-end flight test of the full Dark Eagle technology suite. Launched from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station, the test validated the missile's booster. It validated the hypersonic glide body, and it validated the command and control systems. Successes in 2024 established the technical foundation for operational certification of LRHW prototypes. That moves the system closer to being fielded with operational units. LRHW and the Blackbeard system, both hypersonic but different roles. The strategic implications of successfully fielding mobile, affordable hypersonic weapons are profound. The first and most critical advantage is survivability through mobility. By mounting hypersonic missiles on a platform like HIMARS, the U.S. military can disperse its strike assets across a wide geographic area, making them exceptionally difficult for an adversary to track and eliminate. Unlike fixed missile bases, which are known and stationary targets, a convoy of HIMARS launchers can, shoot and scoot, firing their weapons and immediately relocating to a new concealed position. This resilience ensures that a credible retaliatory force remains intact, a key component of effective deterrence in a high-intensity conflict. The second major implication is the extension of strategic reach. Mobile launchers can be forward deployed by air, by sea, to allied territories, placing them within striking distance of potential trouble spots. This allows the U.S. to project power and respond to crises with unprecedented speed. A hypersonic weapon, traveling at over a mile per second, can strike a target hundreds of miles away in a matter of minutes. When launched from a mobile platform that can be positioned close to a contested area, this response time shrinks even further, leaving an adversary with virtually no time to react or defend itself. This capability dramatically enhances the U.S.'s ability to shape events and deter aggression in critical regions. With contracts in place, initial objectives define the immediate future of the mobile hypersonics program is focused on tangible engineering and testing milestones. The next major event on the calendar is the delivery and demonstration of Castellion's proof-of-concept prototype, scheduled for the first quarter of 2026. This will be the first critical test of the program's viability, where engineers will assess the physical integration of the Blackbeard missile with the HIMARS launch system, where engineers will assess the digital integration of the Blackbeard missile with the HIMARS launch system. Success at this stage is crucial for maintaining program momentum and validating the core design principles before moving on to more complex and expensive phases of development. Following the initial demonstration, the program will quickly pivot to flight testing. The plan calls for Castellion to deliver at least 10 minimum viable product prototypes by the end of fiscal year 2026. These missiles will be used in a series of live fire tests from HIMARS launchers to evaluate the entire engagement sequence, targeting launch flight maneuverability terminal accuracy. These tests will be intensely scrutinized by the Army and the Pentagon, as they will provide the first real-world data on the weapon's performance and reliability. The contracts awarded to Castellion represent a significant vote of confidence in the defense startup and its innovative approach to hypersonic technology. While the specific financial terms were not disclosed, the agreements aim to fast-track integrating the Blackbeard hypersonic weapon onto operational platforms. The initial and most prominent focus is the Army's M142 HIMARS. HIMARS gained international recognition for effectiveness and mobility in Ukraine. It provides a tested, reliable, and widely available launch platform. Castellion must ensure Blackbeard can be safely and effectively launched from this mobile artillery truck. The program timeline is notably ambitious, reflecting the Pentagon's push to field new capabilities quickly. Castellion must deliver a prototype proof of concept between January and March of 2026. That phase will prove the core engineering and integration concepts. After a successful demo, the company must produce a minimum of 10 minimum viable product prototypes. Those units are for more rigorous flight testing from HIMARS launchers, with delivery targeted toward the end of fiscal year 2026, September 30th, 2026. A key differentiator is Blackbeard's design philosophy: affordability and mass production. Legacy hypersonic programs had extremely high per-unit costs, limiting quantities. Castellion aims to change that. The company says it will produce thousands annually at full-rate production. It is targeting a unit cost in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, far below other hypersonic systems in development. That could turn hypersonics into a more widely available tactical weapon. Funding appears to be gaining traction in government. The President's 2026 budget request included a $25 million line item for future integration efforts. That signals high-level interest in expanding hypersonic options and infrastructure. Successful execution of Castellan's contracts could justify Congress approving and expanding this funding, accelerating the shift to more affordable, flexible strike capabilities. Mobile, ground-launched systems like a HIMARS-fired hypersonic missile offer a unique advantage in this context. They are less expensive and easier to deploy in large numbers than their air-launched counterparts, sea-launched counterparts, and their mobility makes them a more survivable component of a deterrence strategy. By placing these systems in key Allied territories, the U.S. can create a distributed and resilient network of strike assets that complicates an adversary's calculations and raises the potential cost of aggression, thereby reinforcing regional stability. LRHW, a strategic weapon for theater-level strikes, targeting hardened or well-defended sites deep inside enemy territory. Its size and long range require a larger, specialized transporter erector launcher. Blackbeard is designed for integration with the smaller, more nimble HIMARS platform. That makes it a more tactical system, likely shorter range, smaller warhead, suitable for a wider array of targets. Lower cost enables procurement in much greater numbers. This two-pronged approach suggests a layered Pentagon strategy. LRHW deters major adversaries with high-end strategic capability. Blackbeard offers commanders a flexible, readily available hypersonic option on the battlefield. The U.S. is developing a family of systems with varying ranges, costs, and platform integrations. That lets the military tailor responses to a wide spectrum of threats. Diversification reduces the risk of relying on a single, expensive program, and it broadens hypersonic utility across all domains of warfare, from tactical engagements to strategic deterrence. This dynamic creates a classic security dilemma. As the United States accelerates its hypersonic programs to counter the capabilities of China and Russia, those nations are, in turn, likely to perceive the U.S. actions as a threat, prompting them to further accelerate their own development efforts. This action-reaction cycle fuels the arms race, potentially leading to a more unstable and unpredictable global security landscape. The introduction of highly mobile, difficult-to-track hypersonic weapons could lower the threshold for conflict, as the speed of these weapons drastically reduces decision-making time for national leaders during a crisis, increasing the risk of miscalculation and unintended escalation. Ultimately, the path forward is clear but challenging. The U.S. military is committed to developing and fielding mobile hypersonic weapons as a means to counter peer adversaries and enhance its strategic deterrent. The Castellan HIMARS integration project is a key near-term step in this endeavor. If the upcoming prototype demonstrations and flight tests prove successful, and if congressional funding materializes, the United States could be on track to field a new class of affordable, mobile,